My children were injured by their regular childhood vaccines, so I came out swinging. And then Gavin Newsom came out and said that no one could participate in society unless they all got the vaccine. And that's just not going to happen. You will not ever force me to take your shot. You give up the authority over your body to a government, you'll never get it back. It's just the end game.
Now listen, man, my faith talk is the word of God. The just shall live by faith.
Hi, this is EmmaSara with Leigh Allyn Baker, and she is a phenomenal woman. She's a freedom fighter. She does many different things. She is an author. She is an actress, and she's on Ignite Voices today, though, because we want to hear about that freedom fighter voice.
Well, I'm so excited to be speaking on cancel culture. It's a subject that I'm pretty well versed in, and I'm really excited to talk to the kids about it.
I'm excited to hear it, but right now I want to talk about some things that are hot in the headlines right now. Now, there is the House Speaker who just put out some information about
I tweeted about him yesterday immediately. I made a post on Instagram that said, I can't wait to meet Speaker of the House, Mr. Johnson, and let him know that I will not be complicit to his draconian anti-American spending bill. So luckily, I've heard that he's reversed course.
Okay, that's good to know.
That's what I've heard, that he has reversed course. Unfortunately, he will not be speaking and joining us tomorrow. I wish he could have, because I had some things I'd like to say to him.
And the reason we have to let them know why you are so, this is a situation that got you hot under the collar, rightfully so. There was some mandates that were talked about in there.
Yes. So my children were injured by their regular childhood vaccines, and they had medical exemptions. And then Gavin Newsom came out and said that no one could participate in society unless they all got the vaccine. And that's just not going to happen. So I came out swinging. You will not ever force me to take your shot. I mean, no matter what they do, if you give up, whether you agree with them or want them or not, is up to you. I will fight for your freedom for you to choose. But the fact of the matter is, if you give up the authority over your body to a government, you'll never get it back. It's just the end game.
I agree with that. And, this is a perfect opportunity for us to talk to. We're shifting the culture's narrative here. And there's a lot of moms that have, rightfully so, they've been indoctrinated from decade to decade. And what happens when you're, fed a narrative in education? The government knows best. They know best about education. They know, I'm putting quotes here, they know best about health. But what do you want to tell the moms that are watching out there, or the parents?
You know your child best. You know what's best for your child. The government has no business raising your child. You do not co-parent with the government. You forge your own path for you and your family. End of sentence.
That's with the big period on the end of that. And the case is that right now, what I'm happy to know that we have MAHA in the house. We have, I feel like I got a little soapbox with my kids. I have 8 kids, 6 sons, and we're so politically minded. I was in tears because I'm like, this is so God that, RFK Jr. would come in on as a cabinet pick. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. So RFK, bring him in and turn him loose. And those of you who are afraid, I'm going to tell you right now, he's only here to defend your freedoms and to educate you. You first, before making any medical decision, you are due legally informed consent, which means you need to be told all the downsides to make the decision that's best for yourself. You are perfectly and wonderfully made in the image of God. The Bible doesn't say that you need a medical product from the most corrupt industry in the world in order to survive and exist. Exactly. It just doesn't say that. And you deserve the right to know the truth. The American people need to know the truth. And I say, let him loose. Turn him loose. And I will stand by the fact that I believe with this election, our country was shown a window of mercy.
I agree.
And I do not take that lightly. So I am not pressing off the gas. I am pressing it on further. And I think that I will be around for a while to make sure that this new administration is also held accountable to stand by their promises.
And I love that you said that, because I am for a party that is for my values and my beliefs. It's going to, put initiatives that are in line with what I believe. Think about Bobby, think about where he came from, the Kennedy family, and he made a decision to go with his heart and his conviction. So he wasn't party, he wasn't so loyal to his party that he let his conviction drop to the floor.
I'm for everyone's freedom, whether you agree to live your life like mine or not. I know that if you don't have your freedoms, that I don't have mine. It's not one-sided. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. I don't care if you're he, she, they, them, it does not matter to me. What matters to me is that we the people, and we deserve to make decisions for our own bodies, and we deserve for the government to be out of our lives.
And I agree with that. And it's kind of you think about it, they sit here and the liberals, okay, and they're liberals in their mentality until they they think about what we want as conservatives. And I don't even think about myself. Yes, I'm conservative. I just think I'm a lover of my family. I think I'm a lover of my health. I think I care about other people, and I don't want people to, tell me to put poison in my body. I don't want people to tell anybody to tell me to put poison in my kid's body. And what makes me just so irate is that there have been families who have had totally normal children that I personally know, and I'm sure like you said, you've had vaccine injuries yourself. I've had a child, and I don't really share this topic. I don't think I've ever shared it publicly before, but I have a son who's brilliant, and I remember when he was small, after he got his vaccines, all of a sudden he got somewhat of a tick where he would be watching TV, and it was like a typewriter, and he'd be watching TV, and I'd stand behind him and I would video it, because he'd watch TV and you would see his head go, and then he'd blink his eyes and his head would come up, and he would do that like over and hundreds of times a day, and he'd come up and his head would pop. And I thought he never did that until he got his vaccinations, and it was a wake-up call for me. I was fed the lie that they were, that society is fed. This is what you do. This is what good parents do. And then you realize something's not right here.
Right.
And I really believe that God, in his sovereignty, and this is where we have to lean into our faith. We do what's right for us and what we hear God say to do for our family. And I believe that I saved, through God's wisdom and through health choices, that we were able to reverse so much of the damage that was done.
That's right. It is reversible.
Yes.
I mean, unfortunately for some kids, they still struggle. I have a friend who has a child still in diapers, and that was thanks to the DTaP shot. These have ingredients in them that cause neurological damage. There is a black box warning on them. And for them to just wipe their hands of it because of an act that was passed in 1986, let's appeal that right now.
Yeah.
And then we'll get somewhere. You just got to follow the money to know that their money talks. And when a mother speaks the truth, they get nothing out of it. I get nothing out of this.
That's right.
I got ostracized from Hollywood. I got kicked out of my career. I took death threats, rape threats.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Sure.
Let's go there. So exactly, I mean, you said that you got death threats.
Yes.
And they need to know about this.
So I thought that when I spoke out, I would be met with compassion for all the suffering that my children and I have been through. But instead, I was met with death threats. And I thought that this healthy group of Hollywood people that I know promoted the vaccine and didn't take it would be there behind me to defend our freedom and the freedom of our children.
Did you hear that? You missed that little piece that promoted it but didn't take it. So
promoted
keep going,
it but didn't take it. Yeah, Dwayne Johnson, I'm looking at you. So I know that these people didn't take it. I know the inside scoop of who they're connected with, and I know who they were paid by.
Wow.
And I'm here to tell you that you get nothing out of it when you come forward and speak the truth, other than to try to make the public aware so that they can make an informed decision.
What do we really have to lose? We have our children's health to lose. We have our health to lose. And so for me, it's a battle that's worth fighting. I mean,
this is it.
Yeah.
There is no other battle. If you give the government sovereignty over your body, then it's over. It's over. You will never get it back.
And right now, I was just looking at this initiative that Johnson was looking at pushing through.
Yeah, it has a forced vaccination possibility. It has draconian overreach. It has vaccine passports. It's got the whole
I just got chilled.
kit and caboodle
you said
of tyranny.
And people are talking about victimization and slavery, but literally people who are wanting you to have a passport and wanting the government to own our bodies, to own our mind, that's true slavery. That is the real slavery.
And unfortunately, there is a real mental illness crisis going on, and people but they do that on purpose.
Yeah.
They scared people to death.
Yep. I agree.
And then they use that fear to pretend like they're going to come in and save the day. It is a brainwashing technique. It is a Marxist technique, and it worked on a lot of people that I'm praying for will wake up.
Well, I've studied undercover stuff that I wish I could unsee. They use a whole system, okay, and it's the abuser. And if you want to just break it down and not make it too deep, you think about a predator who is grooming a little child, okay, the good uncle, the good coach. This is the uncle in the neighborhood.
Those same techniques are used, and unfortunately, when the nation or when people side with their abuser, which was the government, then they identify with their captor. That's Stockholm syndrome. I mean, they're like, there's a name for it.
Right. And this has been going on. I mean, this is just something that's innate in culture and society. And this is not like a 20th century thing even. I mean, this goes back, if you just go back throughout history and you study this, there is a recipe for brainwashing. There's a recipe for getting somebody to think an abuser is doing them a favor. And we've gotten to this place in society where the government, through the education system, through, through the public information, through
the media, through the news, through subliminal programming in movies and television shows. Yeah.
I mean, there's sometimes I laugh when you look at some of the just the news feeds. They'll go and they'll feed the newscasters,
They do it with the weather too. Like here's a little trick on how they do it too.
Okay.
It's 72 degrees today. My niece is laughing because she knows I've really been going off on this lately. It's 72 degrees today, but it feels like 82. Global warming. You see, but it feels like, who are they to tell me what the weather feels like? What it feels like to me may not be what it feels like to you. That's that power of suggestion to pull you along. They're even doing it with the weather.
Yes. The question is, are you going to allow them to pull you along?
Right.
And that's why we have freedom fighters here on the front line. That's why we're here at AmericaFest. That's why we're here involved with Turning Point, because there are a group of us who say that you're not going to come, you're not going to take my children's freedom, you're not going to take my freedom, you're not going to tell me to have that our body, our choice. But I'm saying my body, my choice. I don't want to have vaccines, but you're saying we want choice for. I'm like, you're a liar and you're a hypocrite. And we can't be doing this in society anymore and telling women, my body, my choice. But you, Leigh Allyn, I mean, we want you to go and, we want you to get the vaccine because we said to, because you're making me feel unsafe.
Right. Do the right thing. Listen, I will never sacrifice my children to the government.
She's a word right there, sacrifice. And because I'm a faith person, we're faith people, and throughout history, biblical history, sacrifice is real, Molech is real. We can go down through the different types of real, pagan gods or whatever. But the truth is that that the government has made itself like a god. And when it wants to be your savior, but it really wants to kill you.
Right. That's why this is one nation under God. It's not one nation under government. So whether you believe in God or not, you better get on the train, because if God is not your sovereignty and your foundation for your freedom, then a man is, and they will abuse it every time.
So let's talk, because I don't want to just leave them here with, this all in their mind, but have nothing to do. Like, what would you suggest to the people who are like, maybe they have something, worth looking into? What would you tell them?
I would tell you, first of all, that there is such hope in the world. I mean, we are living in such an exciting time right now to be able to witness this. I mean, this election, we narrowly made it past our country being completely fallen. That being said, I want you to know, I don't bow down to Donald Trump. I don't bow down to J.D. Vance. I don't bow down to RFK Jr. I will hold them accountable to stand by what they said in their policies, and I will protect our children no matter what. I bow down to one man and one man only, and that's Jesus Christ.
Right.
So these guys don't have anything on me, and I'm hopeful that they will walk a path of honesty and integrity and do what is right for the American people. I am hopeful for that.
People who follow me on Facebook, I'm even that way with the church, okay? Because just like the government, and I'm a believer, okay?
I agree.
We don't put the president above, God. We don't put the pastor above God. And when we get to a place where we start to look at our own life, have a relationship with Christ by ourselves, and take everything back to the Word of God and measure it, because Trump doesn't always say what's right. The pastor doesn't always say what's right. And I'm really into personal accountability. Yeah. And I think our greatest accountability happens when we start to question everything.
You have to question everything. That's the thing. My thing is this. I don't have all the answers, but I have a lot of questions. And I think that's really important for seeking the truth.
Yeah.
And I just want what's best for my family, my countrymen, everybody across the board. I love everyone, and I want everyone to have the freedom of their life. And that's what I stand for. And it's happening. And I would encourage people, and turn off the news, turn off the TV, step outside your door. That's where the real truth is.
Well, somebody this week I was listening to is saying, it's probably Charlie Kirk. I don't know. I've been to so many different messages this week, but we've won the battle, but we haven't yet won the war. The war continues.
This is just one battle. Yeah. Now it's time to press on the gas. Don't let up.
So they're still pushing this stuff. So just because we have a change in guards doesn't mean that we have to stop fighting, right?
100%. Like, I don't understand. I just want to ask the public one thing. if you're the only person in a room with live, healthy people wearing a mask, do you literally think that that's somehow going to save you, that the rest of us didn't drop? Like, wouldn't I have dropped dead? I thought for sure once people see me go out in public with no mask and I live, that they will stop this nonsense, but they don't, alas.
Yeah.
It's the fear is really just so strong. And it makes me sad for people. I want them to not feel fear. I want them to know they're healthy, they're fine.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'll tell you this, and then we are done with this wonderful interview. But during the lockdown, when everybody was scared in mask, I did the most traveling I had ever done in my life, and mostly without a mask. You know, sometimes they just wouldn't let me not wear a mask, but I'll tell you, I did not get sick. Yeah. I traveled probably, I think, 23 times in a single year without fear. I didn't get sick, and that's because I made a choice. You made a choice, and we are speaking for ourselves. We're not going to stop speaking. We're Ignite Voices. I'm EmmaSara. I have a special place in my heart now for you because I'm grateful for what you're doing. Keep on being that blazing change that we need in this world. So thank you so much. Remember, y'all, go out and blaze change. I'm EmmaSara. Thanks for watching, and thank you. Before you know it, it is that little ember that starts a whole fire across our nation of voices that will not remain silent because our nation is in crisis.
Yeah, fire does need to be started.
Ignite Voices is bringing different voices in who are saying enough is enough.
How can we sit back and complain when we see our country collapsing, one community after other?
Not even a red or blue issue, it's a red, white, and blue issue.
And we believe in freedom.
We are diverting the lie that we should hate our nation, that we should not understand who we are as a people. It is causing confusion in the heart of humanity.
I saw this terrifying agenda take over our public schools.
That all sounds very negative, but here's the good news. You are set free.
That's exactly it. You do have power in the society. It's not too late.
Expose what's going on here in our country.
It's to get to the mothers to protect the kids so that we don't pass those problems to our children.
You want to be taken.
So the only answer to hate speech or bad speech is more speech?
Within that is the freedom of religion. Without expression, the right to discuss our ideas and differences, we would get nowhere.
And why is it so important that individuals share this message?
Because individuals build families, families form communities, and communities, they shape nations. That's why it's important for us to continue to keep this torch lit.
And that's what we're doing. We are here to shift the culture's narrative. We're here to blaze change. I'm Von-Kensington.
I'm EmmaSara,
host of the Ignite Voices TV show. Remember, keep that torch lit. Go to ignitevoices.com. Go out and blaze change.
Dr. Fauci's and Birx and all of them that weaponize a vaccine against everybody and all these things. Donald Trump is trying to make America great again.
Right.
Bobby Kennedy's trying to make America healthy again.
Yeah.
I want to make America godly again.
What's up, guys? Von-Kensington with Ignite Voices here. Today we have our good friend Jeff Zink. Jeff Zink, how's it going?
Well, it's going great, and thank you all for having me on your show. I really appreciate it. You know, it's programs like this that truth can get out.
Oh, yeah.
You know, our mainstream media does not do anything whatsoever about the truth. It doesn't, it helps. In fact, your family would be targeted in the mainstream media because your mom wants to be a mom. Oh my gosh. You know, you want to be a kid, not a boy, not a girl.
Yeah, exactly.
All of this transgender stuff. It really is disgusting what we have going on now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jeff Zink, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm a congressional candidate here in Phoenix, Arizona. This is my congressional district, downtown Phoenix and, Levine, South Mountain area. I ran. I did lose.
Okay.
However, the thing is that by running 2 congressional campaigns, I have met so many people that now what's happening is that I'm on the final list with Robert Kennedy Jr. On HHS as the Assistant Secretary of Health.
Okay. What would that position entail?
So one of the things is that we're going to be over the CDC. All right. So Center for Disease. And then we're also going to be over the FDA.
Okay.
And then we're going to be over the NIH, which is Dr. Fauci's and Birx and all of them that, weaponized a vaccine against everybody. And we're going to be able to sit down and actually put health back into healthcare.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So what is the thing why is it important to like regulate these, big companies like that?
So one of the things that takes place, and I'll make it simple for all of the listeners that are out there. Let's say that you have a disease called cancer.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So that cancer costs about $25,000 a month in just the medications that are being utilized.
Right.
Well, if we actually sit down and use targeted medicine where we draw your blood, we take a look at it, and you have so many cursors that we can take a look at the cancers. Then what we can also do is take the cancer cell itself and look at the DNA.
Okay.
We can find out what is sensitive or is resistant to that drug. How about this? Instead of using name brand drugs, let's use generic drugs. Instead of $25,000, now it's costing $8,000. So you've saved almost, $18,000 just by changing to generic drugs. But here's something that's even more disturbing. We have the technology that now we can actually take that DNA. We can do what is called compounding pharmaceuticals, and we can target it directly to just your body. Now we can reduce that, and so now you don't lose your hair, your eyebrows, and everything else, which is what everybody always knows. I'm a cancer patient, and I lose all my hair and stuff. That doesn't happen anymore.
Okay.
And so now it's just targeting the cancer itself. And so guess what the price is there?
I had less than 25,000.
Well, it's going to be $800.
Wow.
So we've taken it from $25,000, which is what is deemed right now.
For less than optimal solution.
We can reduce it to 8, or we can actually make it so specific to the individual, and yet it'd be $800.
Wow.
So a fraction of the cost. So this is the type of medicine and changes. But the thing is that pharmaceutical companies are not going to like this because they can't make the money.
Yeah, absolutely. So I hear like online and stuff like that. There's memes and stuff like that where they're saying, we already have the cure for cancer, but like, it's like, oh, look, I found the cure for cancer. And then it's like later on the news, the man found dead in his apartment,
Right.
And I think the reason for that, I mean, it's, it's supposed to be a meme, but in essence, it's partly true because, they don't want us to find the cure for cancer or these, diseases because it's profitable for them to, keep being more of like a reactionary response to the disease, like chemotherapy and stuff.
So it's the process of what they want. So they want you to think that something is happening.
Right.
So when your hair falls out, something's happening. When you're sick and you're throwing up, something's happening. How about this? How about if we don't have the nausea, we don't lose the hair, we don't do all this, and we target it, and the cancer is done? So we had a lady, to give you an idea, we had a lady 26 years ago.
Wow.
Colon cancer.
Okay.
Told to go to hospice, prepared to die. That was her diagnosis.
That's crazy.
She goes to the doctors that we've been working with. They turn around and do the very thing 26 years ago. Guess who's still alive, still kicking,
She is, yeah.
and is cancer-free.
Wow.
With no relapse. So the thing is that we can do effective treatment, and we need to make, Donald Trump is trying to make America health or great again.
Right.
Bobby Kennedy's trying to make America healthy again.
Yeah.
As a pastor, as a scientist, as somebody who's in the medicine and everything else, I also want to try to make America godly again.
Yeah.
If we bring our spiritual faith and our scientific basis that have the best interests at heart of the individual,
Right.
we will be so much better off, and we won't have to worry about all of the mental illness that's taking place. You know, if you introduce somebody to Jesus Christ, who died once and for all your sins,
Yes.
and you accept him, you have eternal life in heaven. If the Holy Spirit dwells inside of you, can a demon dwell inside of you? Nowhere to be found there, because they can't be in the presence of the light. And so what we want to do is we want to make people godly again, which is what our founding fathers based this whole country on.
Okay.
We want to make it healthy again. And then we have a president that's going to provide jobs and then lower gas prices, lower food prices, and make America great again.
Yeah.
So all of these combination of what all of us are doing is going to be for the benefit of we the people, not the benefit of government or corporations or pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, absolutely. So in essence, you're saying is that it's true politics is one aspect, and it ties into quite a few things. But what good is having all the freedom in the world, but you're sick and you're dying? That's what RFK Jr. is doing. And then we have Donald Trump in the religious aspect as well. What good is having freedom inside of being able to talk and act and stuff like that, but then you're not able to practice religious freedom? So it's really like a combination of the three that really makes us a great country. So speaking of which, you said that you are you're one of the January 6ers. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I am. I will tell everybody my testimony as to why I was running for Congress and why I went to January 6th. So one of the things is that I played college football at Texas Tech, about 45 years ago, long before you were even thought of. So I ended up fracturing my neck, and one of the things that happened was I had headaches, and I had headaches every day. But as I got older, I started having migraine headaches.
Oh, okay.
And so about 2015, I walked into Burroughs ER with a blood pressure about 248 over 198.
Oh no, okay. That's
Okay,
bad.
most 50-year-olds don't live through that. They stroke out.
Yeah.
So the thing is that God had a plan for me. Well, over the next 5 years, none of the neurologists could figure out what was wrong with me. I became 100% disabled. My health started failing so much that my wife and I were planning my funeral.
Wow.
I didn't think that I was going to live. So I spent 3 years on the couch, in bed, and pacing the floor. Well, on December 24th of 2020,
Yes.
at 3 o'clock in the morning, I prayed this prayer. I said, Father, I don't want to live this life any longer, but whatever you want me to do, I'll do that, and I'll be your faithful servant. As you're sitting beside me.
It's a dangerous prayer.
It is a dangerous prayer, because I really didn't know what I was praying.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, Christ appeared before me, and he said, I'm going to break your headaches.
Wow.
I'm going to restore your health, and I'm going to send you to Congress to represent my people.
Right.
Now, I thought I was supposed to be a congressman. So I started running for Congress, and 2 times I did not win.
Okay.
But it gave me all the connections that I have now. I've had so many people sit down with President Trump about me that how many people in the country can say that, well, President Trump knows my name.
Yeah.
We haven't met, but he knows my name because I've had so many people go to him and say, you need to make sure that he's part of your cabinet.
Wow.
Then I've had a whole bunch of people also go to Robert Kennedy Jr. and say, you need to have him on your staff. I went through the testing process. I've gone through the interview process.
Yep.
I was called and told that I was on the final list of being the Assistant Secretary of Health, which will be helping America be healthy again. And like I said, placing health back into healthcare, and we need to sit down and look at that. But more importantly, what would my job be? Going to Congress in subcommittees on behalf of the people of America and talking to them in regards and having my religious background. I will be representing God's people to make sure that we're healthy again, that we're religious again, that we have the right for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And what we're also praying for is that Robert Kennedy goes through the Senate hearing, and so he gets appointed, and then Jim O'Neill can be the director, and then hopefully I will be placed as the Assistant Secretary of Health, and we can start meeting and making America great.
I'm Von-Kensington. This is Jeff Zink. We're with Ignite Voices. Go out and blaze change.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.